1, AGUA Special Utility District, regular meeting of Board of Directors. Good evening, everyone. Item number 1, call to order. Dr. Adriana Villarreal. Here. Jose Luis Ochoa.
Here.
Ricardo Perez.
Here.
Homero Tijerina.
Here.
Ana Maria Perez.
Here.
Narciso Solis.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Invocation is going to be given by Ms. Cynthia Villarreal.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA SUD, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us today. We ask these things in your name, Jesus, amen.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item D, public comments, Mr. Salinas.
Madam President, we do not have any public comments on this item.
Item number 2, minutes. A, approval of minutes for the December 5th, 2022 AGUA board meeting.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. B, approval of minutes for the December 19th, 2022 AGUA special board meeting.
So move. So move.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Perez, second by Ms. Dr. Villarreal. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to advertise for competitive bids on the purchase of water treatment chemicals to include liquid aluminum sulfate blend and liquid ammonium sulfate. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, again, we're seeking authorization to solicit for bids, and these are 2 items that are, the current contract is going to expire in May, so we need ample time to solicit for bids and get the lowest bid so that we can continue with these chemicals. We had this contract, I brought it before the board last year, and we opt to do just a 1-year term because of the price fluctuations. So we're seeking to do another 1-year term for these 2 chemicals.
Was it a fixed price last year?
We had a fixed price, yes, sir, for both of them.
What do you see, that they're gonna be going up, or?
It's stable right now, but we noticed an increase of approximately, if I'm not mistaken, approximately 50% in one of the chemicals and 30% on the other chemical.
50%.
So it was high. Yes, sir.
How many companies are you gonna call them, or how?
We usually call them, contact them, and email them as well. There's usually three companies that bid on the chemicals.
Okay.
It's the same 3 companies.
It's the same 3 companies. We put it out for advertisement on the newspaper as well, and we contact the bidders that have bid in the past, or the companies that have bid in the past.
Are any of them like local, or where are these companies from?
No, most of them are from out of the valley.
Out of the area?
Yes, Corpus Christi, Houston, and out of Texas as well.
These are the only 2 chemicals, I'm sorry, Ms. Perez, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
These are the only 2 chemicals that we use, or?
No, we have more chemicals, but the other chemicals like chlorine, gas, those expire later on the year.
With the same company that we have right now?
With the same company that we have right now, yes. And they'll expire, so usually 2 months before the expiration or 3 months before the expiration, we solicit for bids so that we can have the 21 days so that they can submit their bids, and then if they have any questions before the bid.
Isn't it a lot cheaper to have all the bids in all the the chemicals into one?
No, because different companies, they only bid on a certain chemical.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't bid on all the chemicals
Okay.
altogether. So there are different companies throughout the state and the country that bid only specific in one chemical, chlorine gas or
Okay, thank you.
alum or ammonium sulfate.
Thank you.
So move.
Second?
So I have a motion by Mr. Tiquirina and I have a second by Mr. Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible action authorizing general managers to submit the project information form application to the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund to the Water Development Board regarding the North Water Treatment Plant. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we're working with SAM's Engineering to submit the project information form, which is the first step to get us to the list that the Water Development Board ranks in order for us to get invited to submit for a new water plant. Basically, the project that we're looking at is to construct a new water plant here in the near future, hopefully. So this is the first step to get us to the list for invitation.
It can be anywhere, right? Not just the north.
It can be anywhere, yeah. We call it the North Plant because that's
Yes.
where we see we
Okay.
have some of the issues.
That's fine. Yeah, you need time if, even though funding is not available right now, but the application takes a process, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
So these are like, this is gonna be like a meeting, or to explain a little bit more how
On the form, no,
you just submit a form?
We submit it's a project information form. We have to submit they ask for several requirements as far as census, what is our capacities, water treatment plant capacity as of today, how many connections do we have. So it's a lot of basic information that they request from the district to submit, and of course, why do you need a new
Kind of like whenever
water
you're
treatment plant?
writing grants, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's exactly right.
And so whenever you have that in place already, it doesn't like expire, so if we do happen to get funding, it's already in place, ready to go, so it's no time lost on that.
No, there's no time loss. We submit that, then we hopefully will get invited to submit for the actual loan and process for the new water treatment plant. And at that time, we're gonna have to submit estimates, and we're gonna seek for dollars for design and construction, the planning, acquisition, and design and construction. But the deadline is coming up here in early March. Milo, I think it's March 6th or March 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
It's usually March, I'm not sure
for
exactly
the-
what
for-
exact date, but.
For the submittal of the PIF, then hopefully we'll get invited, and then we can submit a full plan for that.
And the water board does the inviting, is
Yes,
what I'm
that's
assuming?
correct.
They do the ranking throughout the state. Everybody's, a lot of districts and municipalities submit for either loan or for a project, and they get like shortlisted, and they'll invite the top, depending on the amount available for funding through the Water Development Board.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
great. Hopefully we have our finances in order by then, so,
So move.
second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Ana Maria Perez and a second by Mr. Rick Perez. All in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion of possible action regarding proposed vendor agreement with La Jolla ISD to assist students' families with water payments. Mr.
Yes,
Sorry.
Madam President, members of the board, so La Jolla ISD has a program that assists students, families with several issues, not just water payments, but in this case, of course, that pertains to us will be water payments. The school has requested for us to submit vendor's master's form, and of course a W-9. We're seeking authorization to do that, and of course, I know that Jaren has something
Yes.
to comment.
Madam President, members of the board, my recommendation would be, so as you see on item 5 in the packet, this is what we've received from the school district. And it's pretty straightforward. This does not it's not any funds coming from the district. It is us being a vendor to help assist the school district in their program, and this would help, this vendor master request form would be the information that they require from their vendors. My recommendation, however, would be, in any arrangement where we're taking on any kind of obligation or even a promise that we'll perform some task on their behalf, would be a vendor that we would have some form of contract, right? The attorney would prefer us to do this with some kind of written contract rather than just a verbal agreement with a form here that doesn't really have any kind of contractual terms. So I think what we'd ask on that is if the board wants to go ahead and authorize the district's participation as vendor in the program, to authorize that with the caveat to authorize the general manager and council to finalize those terms in a written agreement.
What would that do to our district? I mean, what is it, what's our gain?
For what, I'm sorry?
What's our gain?
Our gain is, the school district will provide, the payment for the outstanding water bill from students or families of
100%?
the students that are in need for water.
Is it going through that same program that the state is offering, or it's a different?
It's a different program. It's strictly directly with the school district.
Are they gonna
Not through the
delay?
county and
Like,
not
I'm
through the
just
state.
Are they gonna delay the payment? When are they gonna pay?
No,
For
no.
example, if they get approved.
They'll pay, my understanding is that they'll pay right away, but we have to become vendors in order for the district
Yes.
to release a check.
Okay.
Do you know what department you received this from in the school district?
I received from the secretary's office. I don't have the complete.
There's a lot of secretaries.
Yes, secretary's office.
The reason that I'm asking is because I'm currently I work with student services at La Joya School District. I'm the executive director for student services. And so we're working on a project. I'm just wondering if it's related to this or not. But there is a grant with the County of Hidalgo, and we've joined hands with them to help our community. So they're actually applying. This is going to be held February 21st and 23rd at our school district. And parents or the community actually gets to apply for, we went ahead and limited it to 3 different types of services through this grant. And my understanding is Hidalgo County already received the funding that they're going to be using for this. And it's going to be water, their water bill, their light bill, and rent money. But they have to qualify based on their salary. So they have to apply, and so we're working on all of that, but that's through a grant that it's called Hidalgo County Community Service Agency. And so if they are going to be giving, providing or giving these parents, letting them qualify, when we had our meeting, they wanted to know that they were in contact. I don't know, Mr. Salinas, if they've already been in contact with you in reference to this, because I would think that Hidalgo County would have contacted you already because if we're going to provide that service and they qualify, then that grant is going to pay for them. So they said that they were in touch or going to be in touch with someone from AGUA SUD. So they wanted to know if anybody in the meeting knew anyone from AGUA SUD. And so everyone starts laughing like, yeah, I think she's.
Well, the email that we received, Dr. Villarreal, was from the Secretary for Family and Community Engagement, Graduation, and Student Recovery.
That's our department.
That's the.
And the community service agent, those are the same people that were helping the community with the water bill as well. So I think they're probably the same funds, yeah.
Yeah, so we have, the district has an agreement with Hidalgo County on the low-income housing assistance program that, includes water as part of that. And then also now with the state as well. We have that
Right.
agreement with the state.
Now, who qualifies them? The district? Would
Well,
qualify the families, or we give them a list
No,
of names
the
of the students, or how, I just,
in neither of those programs, the district doesn't do any of the qualifications or determinations in that case. In both cases, my understanding with the county as well, it is the state. The county has to verify qualification, but ultimately it's the state qualifications for the program.
So
And we haven't seen the details on if this is part of a grant. We haven't seen the details on that yet, but I would imagine that there probably is going to be an agreement as a proposal for the program for
Can
participation.
we cancel at any time?
We can make it part of an
We would-
agreement.
I mean,
If
we
it
would
doesn't
make
work
that-
for us, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a motion, subject to that, Narciso made a motion second. Okay,
Oh, my God.
who was it?
Ya me lo motion, pero
Yeah.
ya los adelantamos.
Second.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Solis, and I have a second by Mr. Perez.
So what is this motion gonna do? Y'all are gonna get started with it?
The vendor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We become a
will-
vendor with the district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna become but with the agreement that if,
What we'll do is we'll.
Will have to come back to the board.
Right, we'll begin negotiating with the district on a contract that has the terms for us being a vendor. We'll bring that back next meeting, once we have that finalized, but this authorizes us to work with the school district, get that finalized, find
Provide
out
that
any kind of
W-9.
implementation that we need to do on our end to work with their system.
Okay, sorry I interrupted.
okay. Okay, so, all in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on award of bid to the lowest responsible bidder to the Liberty Road Water Line Improvement Project. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, for this project, we received 3 bid responses, and I'll let go ahead and Mr. Milo Salinas here with M2 Engineering go through the bid.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. So we received a total of 3 bids on January 31st. One of the bids was incomplete, and therefore, so there was 2 that we actually went through the review process. With that, in the review of the tabulated items and provided information, RDH Site and Concrete was the lowest responsible bidder for the total amount and $221,925. And so that's who we're recommending, and they were the lowest in cost. AGUA Special has worked with them before. They were actually the contractor on the water line for Mile 3. And so,
Who's
based-
RDH?
RDH,
Who is it?
um,
That one?
they're the contractor.
Who is it? Who's that one? That one?
Mr. De Hoyos, can't remember his first name.
Yeah, on the second item, $20,000 difference, I mean.
Yeah, that's
did
what I
no
saw.
will, have they ever done something like this before? RDH?
Yes, they did the water line improvements for Mile 3 from FM 492 to Tom Gill. So they were same contractor.
And I can see where that kind of raises the flag because
It's a
of
big
it's
difference.
like a big difference in kind of what happened with us. with-
Traffic control, I think more will went a little bit high.
Yep.
Yep, basically the bids that we received, that day, it's not shown here on the incomplete bid, right? Cause they did not submit a bid bond or a cashier check, which was GNS, directional boring. But the total amount that they submitted was $182,235, just for information.
The other one?
The other one. But it was an incomplete, it was not a responsive bid, right? Cause they didn't submit a bid bond and they didn't submit a cashier's check to go with the bid. So that is why it's shown as an incomplete, bid.
Yes, and also on the project manual that they basically, pick up with the construction plans, it has a bid form that they're supposed to fill out, and they submitted basically their pricing, but they didn't use the form and they didn't have the bid bond.
Yeah, also on 2.7, the other one's real low.
Yeah, and I think that that if you all have had experience with RDH, we'd like to hear from that because of what has happened with us with the sewer. like, OG came in really low, and that's why we don't want to.
Yes. So they just recently did that project last year, the one on mile 3, and
No issues?
we had some hiccups here and there, just typical project, but for the most part they were responsive, and whenever we told them that something needed to get adjusted or fixed, they took care of it and they completed the work. So that project was completed and it's been working. They provided all of their documentation to close the project, and so
You're
our
gonna be
experience
the
with them was
engineer?
good.
You're gonna be the engineer supervising this?
Yes.
So on that last project, I mean, the price range, they pretty much stuck to their, God wasn't here to, what they had bidded and submitted and
Change orders, no
change
image?
orders.
We had a couple of change orders because there was obviously that the widening of that project had a drainage line that we weren't 100% sure if it was going to be in the way from an existing line, and it ended up being that it was. So that was one of the changes that extended the project. But other than that, they were, in my opinion, they were fair throughout the process during construction, and they did a good job.
This line is gonna be on the right of way or a private property?
The majority of the work for Liberty is basically prior to them doing the road improvements from Volcano to Mile 3. So in the majority, it's basically installing crossings with steel casing and running the water line to connect those. There is one segment where we are proposing a water line, and that one is within the new right-of-way. Obviously, they purchased new right-of-way to be able to widen the road, and so we're locating these lines so that they'll be outside of the pavement, but within the new right-of-way.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Perez and a second by Mr. Tijerina. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you, Bella. Item number 7, General Manager's Report. A, December financials. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, I have here with us Mr. Jaime Reyna, Finance Director, who will give a brief overview of the December finance.
Yes, Board, these financial statements are as of December, so these are our year-end financials. If you could please turn your attention to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in that position. Here you'll see our total operating revenues ended at 108%. Year to year, this was an increase of about 1.5 million, primarily due to more water sales. Our operating expenses ended at 103%, 93,000 more than the prior year. Overall, our debt ratio was a 1.19, meaning we were able to make our debt obligation payment this year, and we had roughly about $600,000 worth of revenues after making payment.
Where are you at? Which page?
It's the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes
Okay.
in that position.
No, that's fine.
It'll be the last page under the 7A tab.
Again, the only thing that I kind of sticks out to me here, because I don't know how to read these financials yet, is the professional and other services.
Yes. That's legal and engineering expenses. That is in that line item.
We don't have a breakdown of that, right?
The house, so a breakdown of.
Like, I know I went through the check register and I saw all the different checks monthly. Like, for December, I paid 31,000 here.
Sure.
For this firm, for this other firm, I paid this much. Like a total of legal for the month.
I could prepare a breakdown of that.
Just kind of like monthly so that we can see
Okay.
that. What other professional services are in that as well?
Those are the main ones.
Legal?
Engineering and legal.
Do we pass the bank fees on to the customer or we pay?
The customer does pay a 5% fee, and we get charged that fee as well.
So that 147, what was that? Do you know, more or less?
Those are the merchant services. Those are the credit card processing fees.
Can we
that go
pass
in
it
there.
on to the customer or not?
We currently are. It's the 5% charge that we assess to the customer.
So
That
we do-
5%,
We do collect it.
yes, we do. We do.
So that would be that 31,686? Or, no, that's a different.
Different from
The 5% of revenue from
previous
that fee would be up top at the miscellaneous fines and fees. It's part of the 1.1 million.
Mhm.
And that's where the revenues come for the credit card
Okay.
fees that we charge, and the expense, from paying the merchant is at the bottom in that 147,000.
So we actually
Yes,
received more than we were
it'll
anticipating.
it'll even out. Yes.
Okay.
Because the one that we are paying to the merchant that we using the credit card is around, you would say roughly 3.5, versus we are receiving 5% already from the customer. So there is like a 1 to 2%. And over the last, from 2015 to 2022, the credit card paying customers are drastically increased, which is like 1/2 probably of the almost customer now. So
good, yeah.
it bringing little extra cash for us.
Okay. Awesome. And the other operating expenses?
So that the bottom section, it's we have their capital outlay for projects and capital outlay repair and replacement. These are non-operating expenses. They fall below the operating section of it, and that does not get calculated in the debt coverage ratio. But we have here interest expense, principal payments, interest income, things that are not part of our daily operations.
But the one right in the where it says operating expenses, other operating expenses?
Oh, I see.
No, yeah. Mhm.
So there we have things such as education and training expense, utilities, building and ground services, clothing and uniforms, safety supplies, rental of equipment. It's a wide broad of categories. Mhm.
I did notice, again, I was looking at the check register, and I noticed that we were paying $850 to web hosting.
For website maintenance, yes.
Yes. Is there a way that we can bring them in, or is he up for contract? How do we do that contract?
I believe it's coming up in May, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, that contract is coming up this year.
Yeah.
Forward.
Maybe he can come to the next meeting and, kind of tell us a little bit about what that 850 goes towards. Like, is it housing that it costs $500 to have the server? Or is he actually like posting things on there? I just want to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, he's more engaged on the website maintenance more than anything.
Yeah.
That's what
Because when I look at the website, I look at mainly the only thing that's really kind of getting updated is the agendas, the meetings, things like that. So I would like to see, if we're paying $850, I'd like to see a little bit more maintenance on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7B, fourth quarter investment report.
Yes, Board, this investment report is as of the fourth quarter of the year. It takes a look at the interest generated by our bank accounts. For the fourth quarter, the total interest we generated, our bank accounts generated was $73,000.
Any further questions?
Have we seen any increase on the rates?
Yes, we have, mainly with our Techstar accounts. It's on the second page, it's Techstar investment pool.
Mhm.
They're in line with the Fed rates. As they increase, that also increases as well.
Yeah.
So
That's,
hopefully.
that's helping us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Item number 7C, January water leak adjustments.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, this is a summary of the January leak adjustments by account. We had a total of customers that had water leak adjustments, and of course, some of these are from prior months that were approved. This month, we have a total of 27 customers, and the total amount was $6,200.
Sequin, I mean, I know we like to give things away, but every penny counts, Robert. I know you, last time that they give you an authorization, but really, really just, I think you need to say no, like all the other districts in the, if you save penny today, that's a penny saved, unless it was terrible on our fault or something that we did. But if somebody's not looking at the meter, or, it's not a fault. We gotta do it like Cherryland, Mission, I know it's tough, but many of these people, what can I say? $6,000 a lot of money.
So you said some of these were from, last month, meaning January, or what are you talking?
Prior months, meaning, December.
December?
December, some of them are December were approved this month, cause some of the leaks,
They came in later?
Came in late, yeah, some of them were like, for example, in November, right, and they came in December, and by the time we get it, we do the adjustments a month after the leak occurred. For a credit on their bill.
I was just gonna ask, one there for 730. Was that like a residential, commercial? That's
Most of them are residential. I know we have one that is 654. Those were residential leaks.
How many gallons is that?
Oh, I don't have the backup information with me.
100,000 gallons?
But we're looking at yes, on the thousands, 20,000, 50,000 gallons.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go back to how are we notifying our community about alerts that they can set up on their phones, or I think I heard somebody speak about how you can set that up to get alerts.
Yeah, every time, I know that customer service is real good about it. Every time they come for a water leak, they are notified. The different like the apps that we have that can notify them.
Right.
So they can set a certain maximum allowable per day, and the system will alert them that you're going over your maximum allowed.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, little informational videos on our website letting people know, hey, or on our social media, hey, if you...
Tutorials?
Yeah, little ways of letting them know if you have ever, or did you know that this service was available, that you can have these alerts set to your app. You're already paying on your app. Set that alert so that you are aware of how much you're spending each month.
How many of those are repeat customers, Robert?
They only allow, what, 1 or 2?
Repeat customers, I don't have, but usually we only allow them once per year.
Or once in a lifetime.
That's another.
So AGUA has like the app that will explain and
Yes, sir. The actual app will, once you're set up through the app, the same app will have the options for you to have maximums allowable per day for your meter, right? And it will send you an alert. For example, you set it up for, let's say, 5,000 gallons per day maximum. If you go over that 5,000, the system will send you an automatic alert to alert you that either there's something wrong with the system or you're actually using that amount. But it will give you an alert.
Yeah, just like I set up my phone for banking so that I know that every charge, it's coming through my phone as an alert, if I've authorized it or not.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, we should, in a sense, we should have our customers, our ratepayers, be somewhat of, what's it called? They should be responsible in that sense, checking, okay, how much am I using? Because at the end of the day, we're not in the position to be paying this type of money on a monthly basis.
Yeah, if we keep going this rate, it was a 1 month, 2 months.
But it's good that we see it like this.
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
10,
it's good that we
12.
see it like this, so on a monthly basis, we're seeing,
It's a lot of money.
like, how many of these are coming.
72,000. And we need 72,000. Okay. What?
Yes, we're good. Okay, item number 8, District Engineers Report. A, Nat Bank's Technical Assistance Agreement, sewer hookups.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. I'm going to start off with item 8A, NADBAC yard line project. So far, the status update is basically the same as the previous month. Right now, what we're working on is verifying the yard lines that are incomplete and trying to get signatures on right of entries on homes where they have basically denied to be connected. And so we're trying to get those finalized at this time. And from there, the plan is to complete those. I think we're pretty much getting close to completion right now, getting close to substantial completion. So what we're trying to work on right now is doing a substantial completion walkthrough, create a punch list, complete those items, then that will get us to substantial completion. Once they complete the punch list items, we will be getting to final completion, but we'll also be working on a reconciliation change order to decrease the services that won't be connected on the north side. And so that's what we're working on. We anticipate having all this complete probably by April 2023. And we'll be working with the contractor these next couple of weeks on trying to get this completed. This is the same status update that we provided Mr. Carlos Acevedo with NADBANK. In regards to the additional services that we're working on the design, we anticipate completing the design by February 16th. And from there, we can, once we have approval from NADBANK, then we can advertise for bids. And that's the status update that we have on the NADBANK yard line project. Any questions on this?
Advertise for bids, and those bids will be for what?
This will be for the additional areas that are on South Green Road, south of Business 83, okay, and on Abram, north of Business 83.
Do we have the funds for that?
Yes.
Yes? How much, or no say?
It's roughly close to 2 million, and the plan that we have is to have a base bid and possibly 2 alternates to make sure that the funds that you have available through NADBANK, that it'll be enough to do basically for sure the base bid, but we also have 2 alternates in case the bids come in. If they come in within the right amount, then we might be able to do those alternates. So we're placing them as alternates. That way we can decide once we receive the actual numbers.
The more connections, the better, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, whatever the funds are available through NADBANK is basically you spend it or they'll take it.
Where's it going? Yes, sir. Okay.
Item 8B, Havana Water Treatment Plant Improvements Project. We requested a status last week on Wednesday from Mr. Mark Patillo. And right now, they mentioned that he's completed his review and he's sending it to basically the people above him for possibly signatures, or if there's anything else that they need to review, they'll let us know. But he anticipates us being able to get the letter signed shortly, is what he mentioned last week. But sometimes these things take a while. Once we have that completed, we'll be able to move forward with completing the EID and then move to the design phase. So pretty similar to last board meeting status. Item 8C, Mendiola Water Storage Tank Project. The status update on this, the design teams has been trying to coordinate a meeting to reduce the list of punch list items based on items to be completed. Right now, the items that are pending is a letter from the design team prime for a Monrail I-beam that was requested on October 12, 2022. It had also been requested from the design team to provide a final list of the items that have been completed from the punch list, and then the pending items that are, basically what we want them is to scratch off the ones that are completed, and we want that to be provided from them, and then basically try and make that that list a little shorter. It's been a little tough trying to work with them trying to coordinate a meeting. This project's taken a while, but these are the items that are pending right now. It's working, but there's still these items that are pending, which is the electrical conduit that the specifications required aluminum. They provided.
And it's
What
a
was
real thing, or we just throwing like punches into the air, getting information from this individual?
Right now, it's been kind of tough to try and get them to meet and get it to final completion. It's been a hassle.
Yeah, so it's gonna take another year, or
So
two or three.
last week, there were some emails back and forth from project engineer and CSJ on trying to coordinate a meeting, and so I was out last week because I had COVID, but
Have we paid this individual already? Have we paid him?
everything except a retainage of approximately 40,
I think it's roughly 60,000.
60,000.
Which is nothing. How much was the project?
I'll have to get back with you on that, Mr.
Was
Perez.
a couple $1 million?
It was like I think for that particular project, I think it was like around 1.8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that 60-some thousand retainer was, they already made it, and they don't, like,
Well, we've been getting emails from some of the subcontractors that are still asking what's the status of my payment. So all we've been mentioning to them is, the primes have been paid, so they should have compensated you for that. So I think the next thing we should do is to move forward is verify the items that are pending to be completed, come up with an estimate, and see if
Could have given them a due date, like, put them on.
we have been doing due dates and
What else can be done? That's it?
He was distracting me. What was the question?
Like, when someone's not moving forward and completing
I know, like,
a project, like a project.
we would do demand letters whenever we, it was
And they
like,
I
don't
think
work with us. What else can be done? Like, he's already spoken to them?
that's on the Mendiola project one. I don't know, they didn't give you one of these, did you get one?
Ultimately, on the legal recourse to get them to actually go out there, it require demand letters, and if they don't respond to that, then, you file a petition, try to get an injunction on them to get specific
to get
performance.
started, yeah.
Right. So when you've spoken to him, has it been oral or?
it's been through emails and text messages and phone calls, and it's just one of the biggest hassles is I feel like we're going in a circle here and not getting
We're
much
going
completed.
nowhere.
And so, just last week, they're trying to coordinate a meeting. The project engineer was busy and said they could do Zoom, and then they weren't able to do Zoom, and then they ended up not meeting.
Who's the project engineer?
The project engineer is Meldon and Hunt. They're but they're under CSJ, so
Okay, so CSJ is the
the
main
prime.
person.
Yeah.
See, we can put this item on executive, for the next meeting,
Yes.
so we can discuss it.
Yeah, because it's been, how many years has this been?
It's already been way too long. Yeah.
Way
Like,
too long.
They're,
This was supposed to be a very fast project. It was supposed to be an emergency project, correct?
This
We
project.
started in 2018, the funding
20
came, and we started approval in 2019, and it's supposed to be finished in 2-year range back then.
Yeah. So it should have been done about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, he already got paid most of the money, so.
And like I said, right now I guess the good part about it is that everything's working. It's just getting closure because, well, I don't agree that we should, if they would bid out a certain material for electrical conduit, then that's what they should have provided, or they need to provide a credit. And the other thing is we want to make sure they provide letters where there were some changes, and the project engineer requested a structural engineer letter. So, and most of it is like letters or either you provide a credit or you provide the right conduit that was requested. I feel like some of these things are not that much, but it's just, I guess nobody wants to send it. Is my opinion.
Okay. In future projects, can something be done to give them like just part of the money and then not give them everything, and then, because that's what's happening, right?
That's the way it's supposed to work, but there were a lot of issues, and we looked into it early on, when the board changed a couple of years ago, and all the errors that happened with this project. Things were paid before they were completed, things were paid before actual delivery. There's a long history of it. We did an outline to show, things were approved. We got invoices before items were approved, and then they were paid within days, fully paid within days.
So who made those errors? And are they still working?
No, they're actually
Like-
not.
Because in any other job, you make those type of errors, you're
Yeah.
out.
Those
You
are
know,
called,
like, are they
yeah.
still there?
Those are called PRs, and you don't
Yeah,
ever
you
do a
don't-
PR.
Those are no-nos.
Well, they're big no-nos, and there are already federal subpoenas on a lot of these issues, so those people are already being investigated. So this is what so when we got our federal subpoenas, this is a lot of it was regarding this project.
Wow.
So nobody really wants to touch it anymore. That's what it looks like.
We'll definitely, I think we'll have that as an executive session item to really dive into for the March meeting, and
And if you can share all the emails and everything, or at least the more recent ones with Matt and I,
Okay.
confirmed, so that we can be ready for that executive session.
Okay.
And maybe we could also discuss what else is gonna be done with future projects. How are we gonna handle it a little bit differently? Because, I mean, if we're gonna be doing this every time, and then someone doesn't wanna pay, and someone already made a mistake again, and you understand what I mean? It's like a revolving thing where it just continues happening. And so, like, are there any measures, anything that we could put in writing, in place that,
well,
Like, follow the law.
I think there's contracts already in place.
Yeah,
so-
typically, I mean, on all of our contracts and everything, those terms exist, and there's precautions. I mean, on this particular one, there are certainly issues surrounding it that we should discuss with the board, and have probably an update on the background and everything involved
that would be good.
that we can do in the
Yeah,
next
there are a lot of
executive
important
session.
ones we should update you all.
Yeah.
on, or bring you up to speed on what happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more of a one-off than, it's not a standard practice.
Looking at the board, I think only two were here when we did the investigation.
Yeah, so, but yeah, we'll definitely address that in the
Okay.
executive session for March, and give a full background.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward.
D,
Item 8D, the Palmview Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project. As I mentioned, the last board meeting, Southern Trenchless completed the televising. We've started to review the reports. Our inspector in-house has completed reviewing those reports and has worked on a report. I'm presently right now reviewing that, and we anticipate completing and providing a report to our SUD by February 27th, basically with an estimated cost to make repairs, and be able to provide that to Mr. Chapman as well.
that'd be great. The whole system.
Yes, well, the area that was televised is basically on La Homa from the lift station
Yes, sir.
to Leo's Drive-In, and then from there up to E.B. Reina.
Yes, sir.
And then the rest, we have enough videos from the previous contractor and the surety bond to provide a recommendation and an estimated cost to.
Who's gonna
Mr.
do
Chapman.
the estimated, you?
Yes.
So what's the status on the lift station?
On what lift
The
station?
lift station that we're gonna have there in Palmview?
No, that's.
Oh, on that one, that's not us.
Oh, it's not on this report.
We can talk
No
to
one,
the manager.
but to give you a little update on that, I think Melvin Hunt, who's the project engineer for Circle K, is also working on that, and I'm not sure 100% where they are with that, but they are working on the design for that.
Last I heard is we were going to talk to the district to see about using something, La Jolla.
Some of the, yes,
Some-
Melvin Hunt met with the district, but we haven't received any type of, agreements that we need to work with them. They say, yeah, we can use our line, or we can use their line, and they can sign into our system. But I think there has to be some type of
In writing.
interlocal
Okay.
agreement with the school district before we do that.
Yeah, I've been looking for, see if there's anything on agendas and I don't see it.
Yeah, we're not working on that, but.
Okay, and then E, capital improvement plan?
Item 8E, capital improvement plan. What we provided here is just a tentative schedule. We anticipate completing 75% of the CIP by February 17th, and then request comments from AGUA SUD within a week, and then finalize it by March 6th, and then from there we can move forward with a public review and the requirements that Mr. Snowden will take from there for the impact fee.
I have a question, but going back to 8B, let's see, whoever the Army Corps, 8B, Army Corps engineers, how much work do they do with our Army Corps engineers?
No, it's just the review process for the environmental phase. We're required to send it to all entities: Texas Fish and Wildlife, Army Corps of Engineers, the County Drainage District, Historical Commission, and whatnot. So.
Okay. No, well, when I say work, not that we hired by us or anything, but as far as involved, so I guess pretty much every project they that I was gonna do, or just
No, in this case, because it's funded through the Texas Water Development Board, you have to go through the environmental phase. So, and you have to provide an environmental information document through them, and that's part of the process. But since I've been here, the only other time that we've dealt with the Army Corps was with the border wall, and it was just coordination when if there was any utilities that needed to be relocated for the proposed alignment.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. Okay, item number 9, executive session.
So move.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and read it first. Sorry. As provided, no worries. As provided by the Texas Opening Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 through 551.091, the Board of Directors may convene in enclosed executive session to deliberate, discuss, and consult regarding the matters listed below. On proper motion and approval, any of the items set forth above, the under Texas Opening Meetings Act, the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. A, cost number C-3353-20I, SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA SUD at the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 398th Judicial District. B, the Texas Water Development Board, Palmview Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project. C, Performance Service, Inc., litigation. And D, Hidalgo County Irrigation District 6. I need a discussion and possible action regarding items discussed in executive session. At 6:55, I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have Ms. Ana Maria Perez and a second by Mr. Rick Perez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.